filled with all of the yummy tropes. And
you ready? Ready, Freddie? I mean, we're talking already, so I guess we're ready.
Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Okay, I see it.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Reading Queens podcast. We are here to talk about books as usual. This introduction just gets like exactly the same every single time I start it because it's just in my head. And yeah,
maybe we
anyway.
need to like start singing at the beginning of each one.
I don't know. Can you guys do something?
Hello, we're here.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, by the way, I'm Valia. Hello. Two ladies are joining me today. Please say hi. Joanna, say
Hi.
hello.
Oh, I'm Joanna. Hello.
Yeah, who are you?
I forgot
Hi.
who it is.
I'm Rose. Hello.
We're doing great, you guys. This is awesome. I
And?
requested fun
Yeah.
for this episode, so
And then
they're delivering. It's great.
We're bringing the fun.
As we should, as we always do anyway. I don't know.
It's true.
I mean,
it's true.
It's part of the brand, okay? Everybody just needs to understand that now. No, I think I talked about this on the last podcast, but one of our listeners reached out and was like, "Oh my goodness, you guys are just like hanging out with best friends." I'm like, "Yes, that's exactly what it is." Just the random chaos of our whatever we're talking about. Anyway,
But
yes,
isn't technology amazing?
it really is.
Because like Valia, you and I have never met in person.
True.
And yet we're besties, you know?
It's true.
So
I know. I love it. I love this so much for us. Also, I love the fact that even though I'm in a completely different country now, we still get to do this. Like
exactly.
It's just I love technology. It just brings us all together.
Yes.
I still cannot even believe you're over there in Scotland. I cannot even get over it. It's the coolest ever.
It has been such an experience in the most, I don't even know how to explain it. Okay, so me and my flatmate were walking through the cemetery because we take her dog on walks.
Why not?
And sometimes we go.
That's
through
like the best place to take a walk. That's one of my favorite places to take a walk.
Me too. And there's
not
one, like,
me.
right there.
It's where I got my idea for my debut novel. Was while I was walking through the cemetery. So
oh my gosh, I love it.
Like,
so
yeah,
I definitely get a lot of ideas walking through there. And also that's the prettiest place for all the snowdrops right now. They're coming out. They're like,
oh wow,
overwhelming this beautiful cemetery. I need to post some pictures for it. Maybe when I'm taking over the podcast for Instagram. Yeah. Podcast Instagram. I'm good at this. Maybe I'll post some, but I'm like obsessed with the cemetery. And today I was like, we need to go look at the snowdrops because there was few like green ones coming out, and like I want to see the the flowers flower. And anyway, where was I going?
Did you say green ones?
Yeah, so like before the flowers come up, there was like the little patches of the snowdrops before the flowers show up. So I was like, I need to go back and like watch the progress of them actually flower.
How pretty.
So, they're so beautiful. I love snowdrops so much, and I haven't seen them since I was in Russia. So it was like I'm so excited that I get to like experience them again. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so we were talking about me being here, and it's 2 weeks tomorrow. So like I've only been here for 2 weeks, but there was like no period of time where there was adjustment. I literally just like stepped in like I've always been here. And that's what she says too, which is like hilarious to me because I'm like, oh yeah, it's only been 2 weeks. Like, why am I stressing about anything? Like, it's only been 2 weeks. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, sorry, taking over this podcast with my Scotland talk. Every conversation I have recently,
we'll allow it.
Overcoming.
I love seeing all the pictures you've been posting on your Insta.
Having the best
kind
time
of like
taking all the pictures.
Trying to enjoy it through you.
Yeah.
Yes. Please enjoy my pictures. Live vicariously through me because that's like what it's just it's so wonderful. I just love everything about it. Anyway, okay, enough about this because I will take over the whole podcast and talk about Scotland. I freaking love Edinburgh so much, and like I haven't even been out of Edinburgh yet. And anyway, okay, Joanna.
It's just amazing because it's so like dreary and depressing here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, just it's this time of year. Not very much sun. cloudy all the time,
Yeah.
My prime
cold.
time.
That's
I mean, we've
tough.
gotten some snow, but mainly it's just cold.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about your book
So,
release?
but I released a book. Yeah, I
Yeah.
released a book
That's not
finally.
cold and dreary. That's exciting.
Nope.
Yeah, how is that
That's
going? You're
probably why it was
still,
a good idea to release it in January.
yeah,
I used to
that's true.
hate I used to hate January. Like
Excuse me, my birthday's in January.
I
It's gonna
know,
be
but
your favorite
this is
month.
this is before I knew you, Valia.
Okay, fine.
Back in the day.
Like back in the day, especially
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I hated January because the holidays are over and there's like nothing to look forward to. But my book released in January and it released on your birthday, Valia.
It did, yeah.
So
That is the coolest thing ever.
I love it so
that
much.
was a special
So
day.
can you tell us about it now? So like I know it's you're still doing Vela, correct?
Yes, yes.
So you're continuing like the book two, the episodes are coming out.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, book two is about halfway done on Vela.
Okay. Okay.
So for
Wow.
people
That's
who have
awesome.
read the book and want to continue on, they can.
Yeah, they don't have to
And
wait.
they don't have to wait. And on my Patreon too. They're all on there too.
Okay.
It's a little bit different because and this is something I've loved about this is, the format of Vela, I've probably talked about it on here, but the format of Vela is so different than like a book format.
Mm-hmm.
And so to take all of the episodes that we're going to go into a book or yeah, to make it into a book, I had to do some editing
Yes.
and go back and, like make things better in the beginning. I added a few like POV chapters from Ryan the Prince
You did,
that
yes.
are not on Vela.
Okay.
And the reason I did that wasn't so that I wasn't like trying to like punish the Vela readers, just like that's just what the book needed, just to make it
Right.
more like balanced and everything. And I had
Yeah.
to rewrite, not rewrite, I had to rearrange the ending to make it
Oh.
more like a book ending, but I think it made it stronger. And so I'm
Okay.
really happy with the end result. And I'm getting lots of like wonderful feedback from readers who
Oh,
are loving it
yes. I have
because
seen
it's,
some of those reviews. They're
I love it.
amazing.
yeah,
I
they
know.
make me happy.
Yeah.
Help with the dreariness. So yeah, because it's filled with all of the yummy tropes and
Yeah.
things that I love. So
Exactly. I love that. I love that for you. This book is great. So I'm really excited that it's getting so much love because it deserves it. So
For sure. And the
excited.
cover is so beautiful. Every time I
it
see it,
is.
I'm like, wow.
No, I
It's so
love it.
perfect.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Rose, speaking of covers, you just updated your Fae covers.
Yes.
Did you
She's
forget?
like, her face is like, oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah.
I have been like, my brain was not even thinking about that. But yes, I have new covers for my Fae books and I love them so much.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They are so beautiful with all the flowers and the greenery and the portal. And I love like the font that was used for the titles. Just
I
so,
love the
so
colors
beautiful.
too. I love the,
Yes.
yeah,
I love the
they're
color
unique.
progression. Yes. So yeah, I'm excited about those. And I just, every time I look at them too, I'm like, oh, they're so pretty. I mean, sometimes I do miss my other covers because I thought those were beautiful too.
They were.
But yeah, and I am going to use the images of from like my Fae princess from the cover. I'm going to use those in other ways.
Yeah.
So they're never
Oh,
going to
good.
really be like gone, but
Yeah.
I love those covers. And so
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait to actually get the books. I order them and it's taking forever to get these paperbacks. I'm like, come on, I want to see them. So
Yeah,
I'm
there's just
waiting,
something
waiting,
different
waiting.
about holding it in your hands. Like it's just it's a special feeling that you just never get over.
Yeah,
It's like in your
exactly.
hands. I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
so this episode, I did not say this in the beginning, but this episode is about mythology. So that is what we're going to talk about. I'm just going to dive us right into it.
Let's
'Cause
do
Might as
it.
well.
Let's do it.
we're here, so we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I am actually a very big fan of mythology in general. I love reading just like different interpretations of well-known. It's like fairy tale retellings. It's the same
Yes.
thing. Like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love getting other people to tell the story that we like know. So Joanna's gonna start us off and is gonna talk about her book that she read. Then Rose will talk about hers. But Joanna, tell us about the book that you read for the podcast.
So I read Lore by Alexandra Bracken.
Whoop, whoop.
Surprised we haven't talked about this one
Awesome.
yet because I think it's a favorite of Kay.
Yeah,
Kay loves it.
Kay loves it. I love it. Obviously, anything
Yeah.
Alex is like.
I haven't read it, so I'm excited to hear what you think.
Yeah. So it's about Lore. She's the main character. And I don't know why I thought this like took place in the past. I also love mythology. I like fairy tales, but I think I like mythology more. So it was really
Okay.
fun to like dive into this book. So it's about Lore, who and she lives in now, which for some reason I thought it was going to take place. Anyway, so it's a contemporary. It's a contemporary.
Mhm.
I did not even know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought it was
I don't know. Yeah.
secondary world or something. Yeah, but it's not. It takes place in New York City now. She's a teenager, like 17, I think. And the world building in this is so rich that so the gods of the past, they all have like different houses, like descendants
Mhm.
or something. Am I getting this right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't ask
Okay,
me.
it's okay. Honestly, the world building is so rich that sometimes I kind of struggle to like
It's
keep up.
complicated.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
complicated. Yes, it's
Yeah.
And it's
complicated.
a standalone, so she had to do everything in one book, which is
Yeah.
hard when it's like so
Yes.
involved.
Yeah. In fact, in the beginning, there's a scene between Laura and her best friend who is just a regular human, and she's telling him about all of this stuff. And during that time, I was
Oh,
like,
wait.
whoa.
Laura's a
Laura's a
What's
girl.
the name of the main character?
The name of the main character is Laura. She's a girl.
All right,
She was
Rose is
talking
with us.
to her.
Continue.
So
Okay.
anyway, and she was like describing everything that was going on. I was kind of having a hard time like grasping it, but as I was reading the book, like it made more sense. And so every 7 years, there's this thing called the hunt. It has this other name.
Oh,
The
which
hunt
I
is fine.
can't.
Yeah.
The
just
hunt.
keep
Okay.
going.
The
Yeah.
hunt. Okay.
Don't
Sorry.
complicate
I like
this
it.
for people.
They have the hunt and all of the
In New York.
gods. Yes. Well,
Okay.
anywhere in the world. Like
Oh, okay.
it can happen. Currently, it's happening like in New York. So all the gods become mortal for a certain period of time. And during this hunt, any of these people from these different houses could kill a god and get that god power themselves
Oh.
and for like their house, for their family. And so it's down to where like there's only a couple of the original gods that are even still alive because all of the other ones have kind of been killed by the members of these houses. And then when this hunt happens, other people in other houses try to kill
Wow.
and they call them like the fake gods or the like imitation gods or whatever. So anyway, so it's
Yeah.
it's during the hunt. And Lore, she kind of wanted to get away from the world because something happened to her family. She is the last of her house.
Oh.
And when the hunt happens, one of her old friends, Castor, kind of comes back into the picture, and he is the new god Apollo. And so it's this like action packed. It's like got this friends to lovers romance going on, and just Lord trying to stay alive, but also there's so many things going on in this one little standalone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. I recommend
That sounds
it.
so awesome.
It really is.
So-
The writing is amazing, and like
Mhm.
the fact that it's a standalone is just great. And the paperback just came out with like a special
Ooh.
scene. So if you
Ooh.
guys have waited this long to read it, you should get the paperback because it has like special stuff in it.
Oh,
Anyway,
awesome.
me and my little promos.
Yeah, I keep seeing that book around because that's such a cool
Well,
cover.
I know
But
the
I
cover.
didn't realize that Lore was the actual name of the main character.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it kind of caused confusion in the beginning because of Lore Olympus, which is like super
Yes.
popular and stuff. So they were thinking of changing it, but they ended up keeping it. And I kind of just love it. I just think
I think
it
it fits.
works.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's her.
Yeah.
And it's like the story is her story. Even though,
Hmm.
I mean, she has this whole like kind of a heroine's journey
Hmm.
where there's a bunch of people like helping her out. Like she teams up with Athena, the goddess, so there's
Neat.
just a lot going on. And yeah, it's
It's
really
so
good.
great.
It's
Rose, you
really
should
good.
read it. It's
And
it's
yeah, it's,
absolutely worth it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
It's
know
on my
people,
list.
yeah, people get intimidated because it's so long, but it's like a standalone. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that's fine.
is
It's
Yeah.
it
supposed
super
to
Yeah.
be
thick?
long.
Is
Yeah.
it
No,
huge?
it's not huge, but I mean it is hefty. Like
It
it's a little
is.
chunker. I can probably
Yeah.
throw it at somebody and hurt them, kind of thing. That's how it works.
466 pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
The hardcover.
All
Yeah.
right.
So
So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, exciting stuff. Rose, talk about your book now.
Okay. So when we were talking last week about what book should we pick and what are we going to get? And it was all the queens. And somebody said, you need to look at Rick Riordan. And I was like, oh no, I've read all of his and, The Lightning Thief and all the other ones. And I think it was Hannah who said, well, you need to look into Rick Riordan Presents because
Mhm.
there is a book in that series or in that whatever it is that has to do with Aztec gods and Mayan gods. And I was like, ooh, okay. So I looked it up and I didn't really understand what Rick Riordan Presents is. And so I had to look that up too. And basically, it is an imprint of Disney Hyperion.
Mhm.
And it is run by Rick Riordan and his editor. And so they curate all of these books that his fans would enjoy. So it's all mythology, different types of mythology. And so how long has that even been around? Because I hadn't even heard of that. Rick
Yeah, it's been
Riordan
a
Presents.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, see, my kids are older. And so I kind of went away from reading middle grade when they went away from reading middle grade. So I was going through all that stuff and I saw the book and I'm like, I am going to get this book, The Lords of Night, a Shadow Bruja novel, book one by J.C. Cervantes. And the reason why I totally gravitated to this book is because, hello, Bruja. I was like, what? Mexican witches? Yes, I'm
Yeah.
all over it. And then J.C. Cervantes, a Latina author. Oh my gosh. So I felt like I had a calling to read this book, and I am so glad that I got it. It was so much fun. I will say though that it was a challenge because I did not realize this, but it is a companion to the Storm Runner series. Have you heard of the Storm Runner series
Hmm.
by J.C.
No.
Cervantes? Me either.
No.
So apparently she has another series, and the Shadow Bruja novel is book one of a spinoff from one of those characters.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when I was reading it, it was talking about all these characters knowing each other and experiencing these things. And I'm like, whoa, 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 what's happening here? So I had to look it up, and that's how I figured out it is a companion to the Storm Runner series, which of course I hadn't read. And I'm like, oh man, is this going to be hard to get into? It was a little challenging because they kept referencing the things they had already gone through. But
Mm.
but it did an okay job in the beginning of catching you up, right? So like you're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
getting all this catch up, and then you get into the story. So Renata is 14 years old, and she is the daughter of the Pacific goddess of time.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
her dad is a brujo, but he's a shadow brujo. So he's a shadow witch. And you learn about her in the Stormrunner series. And so you don't really get a whole lot of background on her because it's kind of a lot of it is assumed. And I mean, a lot of it is addressed, but a lot of it is assumed. And so I thought that was cool. A Pacific goddess of time, daughter of a Pacific goddess of time. I didn't exactly understand all of that, but then it kind of came together. So Renata has just come from this big adventure with her friends, and now she's trying to get to this normal life, but nothing is normal, right? And she is kind of obsessed with aliens. And she
Huh.
has a blog on alien sightings,
Oh my
or,
gosh.
I know people that, oh, I saw an aliens,
Yeah.
whatever. And so somebody called into her show or her blog about a symbol in a cornfield.
Okay.
So she goes to investigate and learns that the symbol is from the Aztec gods. And these
Wow.
gods are the lords of the night. And
Hmm.
so all of a sudden, the book just takes off, right? Like boom, 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 after you get caught up on everything. And she has to team up with Edison, who is a half demon, and Montero or Monty, who is a hunter with magic arrows. She and these two characters are on a quest to keep the 9 night lords from awakening because they've been in this sleep, this like crazy sleep. And so they're all starting to wake up, and they want to wake up because they want to overthrow the Mayan gods.
Huh.
So
Okay.
it's like gods versus gods. And
Yeah.
Like
she has,
epic.
yes, and she has to stop them. And not only does she want to stop them because, she doesn't want that to happen, but also because there's a prophecy for her to be the next queen of the Mayans.
Oh.
Okay.
And yeah, and so it's just it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that's happening. And then there is a god, and his name is Pooch, Ahpuch, Pooch, and he is the Mayan god of death. And he wants to help her. And he is in the form of like, a 14-year-old boy. And so he wants to help her. And so they're going through and they're meeting all these gods, and they're trying to get them to go back to sleep, not awaken all the way because they don't want all this stuff to happen. And she has this time rope, which kind of made me think of like, Wonder Woman and her lasso.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a time rope, so she could kind of like use it, but she doesn't know how to use it.
Okay.
And she kind of can bend time. And then, so like as this whole thing is happening, she's learning how to use her powers. And as a shadow bruja, she can control a shadow from within her, and it comes out of her. And it
Huh.
is, yeah. And it was like so much stuff going on. They have to look for an obsidian blade, and there's all this stuff that happens. And I'm not even going to say everything that happens because you really
You
need
have
to
to read the book.
you have to read the book. But I am going to say this thing, because when I got to the end and all of these horrible things happened to some of these characters, I won't say what. And then it was the end. And I'm like, what? This this happened to this person, and this happened to this person, and it's over. It was the most major cliffhanger I have ever I have ever read. Like literally. And I was like, wow, that's insane that it was such a crazy, crazy cliffhanger where
So
all
it's a
these
series.
it is a series. And so all these things happen, and I was like, that's it. That's the end. And I kept like turning the page. I'm like, there's nothing else. There's not an epilogue. I mean, it's just boom, this person has this horrible thing, and now it's like, what? Anyway, I'm not going to say anything, but it is it is major. It is a major, major, major cliffhanger.
So be prepared as usual. I have learned that middle grade apparently just really hits you in the feels. And horrible things
Yes.
happen to children all the time. So you should just be
Horrible.
prepared.
Yes. And it's also funny because when I started reading this, I actually listened to the middle grade episode last week
Oh.
because I wanted to see if anyone had said anything about these books. Because I'm like, okay, if they talk about this book, then I'm not going to read it. And then I listened to it and I was like, okay, I'm safe. I can totally go over this book. But I love middle grade and I hadn't read it in any middle grade in such a long time. And that's why I decided to do it because I kind of wanted to go back to that, all those feels when everyone is just like super emotional and, has all these like heightened feelings for everything, every little thing. And it's so fun and outrageous. And then of course, horrible things happen. So it's a really good read and it's super fast paced and tons of action.
Love it. That sounds really good. I probably will
Yeah.
not read it, but
Yeah.
all the middle grade lovers out there. That's
Yeah.
actually really funny because so I did not read my book because I am failing at podcasting right now, but you know what? I'm embracing the fail, so it's fine. I did buy it though, and it is on my
Aha.
desk, and it's an adult fantasy. So like Joanna
Okay.
had a young adult, you have
Yep.
middle grade, and I have adult. I'm gonna talk about it, but obviously I haven't read it, so I can like recommend it. But I think that enough people have loved it that if they read this kind of stuff, they probably know about it. But it's called Pandora, and it's by Susan Stokes Chapman. And apparently, it was like the breakout sensation, #1 bestseller over here in the UK. And the cover is gorgeous. But I'm just gonna read the back of it because it's just listen to this, okay? London, 1799. Dora
Ooh.
Blake lives with her uncle in what used to be her parents' famed shop of antiques. When a
Ooh.
mysterious Greek vase is delivered, Dora is intrigued by her uncle's suspicious behavior and enlists the help of Edward Lawrence, a young antiquarian scholar. I cannot say these words properly.
Antiquarian.
Yes, thank you. For Edward, the ancient vase is the key to unlocking his professional future. For Dora, it's a chance to restore the shop to its former glory and to escape her uncle. But what Edward discovers about the vase has Dora questioning everything she has believed about her life, her family, and even the world as she knows it. And then the little review down here says, just gorgeous, romantic, suspenseful, and beautifully written, a glorious treat. And I'm like, yes.
Wow.
Wow.
It's been a really long time since I've read a historical fiction, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this would be just the perfect one. It also has a quote from Jennifer Saint. It says, weaves together ancient Greek myth with suspenseful mystery, irresistible.
I
And I was
love
like,
it.
clearly I had to pick this up, and it's
Ooh.
turquoise and it has turquoise like sprayed edges, and I'm obsessed with it. But I've
Yeah,
heard
it's
so
beautiful.
yeah, and my flatmate said that it's actually like was all over the place over here and people were really loving it. So I do have kind of high expectations, which we all know that like high books and me it's problematic, but
That's
it's
always a bad
fine.
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I try to give myself, room away from hype before I read something, but I feel like because I didn't experience the hype of this book, I feel like I will be going in with correct expectations, kind of thing. It's a weird brain thing, okay? We're just gonna go with
Yeah.
it. But I do love Greek mythology, and I feel like it's gonna be just a different experience reading it because it is like an adult fantasy and it's historical as well. So it's like it weaves these genres
Yeah.
that I don't read often enough that I'm just like ready. So I will be reading it soon because it's one of the
I
few
can't
books that
wait
I
to hear
bought.
what you think about it.
Yeah, I want to hear what you think too.
And
I
I
know.
wonder how much romance is in it.
I mean, it says full of romance and intrigue.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
literally on the cover. So if it doesn't
Yeah.
deliver some romance and intrigue, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. You'll have to let us know.
I will. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I do often rant about books to these ladies. So I remember I ranted, Joanna, we had like a whole FaceTime call when I ranted about a book.
Yep.
Because
Which
I get in
one?
my feels, okay? It was Clockwork
It
Angel?
was,
Clockwork Princess
or
was
was
the
it when you
last one.
finished it?
It was when the last
It
one
was the
in the
Infernal
Ah,
Devices
oh
trilogy,
yeah,
which
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love. I love
yeah.
that
It is
series.
also one of my favorite, but if you guys are new to the podcast, my thing with that series is that I literally waited like almost 10 years to read book 3, even
Mhm.
though I had it pre-ordered and on my shelf since it came out, because I was just so determined not to break my own heart by reading this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a whole discussion about
We
the
had a
ending.
yes, it was a whole
Oh.
thing. So yeah, I will be letting you know because now that I've like said it on the podcast, I have to read it and have like all these expectations. So
Yeah.
you will either get a rant that's gonna be a happy rant or not a happy rant.
We shall see.
Either way. But yeah, so if you guys have any mythology, not specifically Greek, but any mythology recommendations for us, throw them in the comments on our Instagram post. Definitely we would love I always love, like I've never even heard of this book and I'm like this sounds exactly like something I would read, you know? So
Yeah.
definitely let us know if you guys have read any of the books that we talked about. Also let us know. Next week we have another topic. It's another topic in
Another
another
fun
episode.
topic.
No, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's gonna be another
Cliffhanger.
topic. Yeah, cliffhanger. There you go. No, it's gonna be another topic that like we haven't talked about recently, so I'm excited about that. But I'm like really happy that you enjoyed lore, Joanna, and I'm
Yes.
very happy that you enjoyed your middle grade book, Rose.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we're gonna go ahead and finish up here. I know I'm like wrapping up so fast because I am so tired. So before I fade, I feel like
Oh,
we
I
should
know.
say goodbye. No. But yeah, before you go, please go ahead and leave us a star rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. Okay, I know how to say these words, I promise. And anyway, any kind of review, star ratings, all of those things really do help us. If you tell your friends, if you tell your family members, if you tell strangers on the street, that also helps. Also, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Reading Queens Pod and on Facebook, same handle, and come hang out with us, talk books. We post really fun questions every week. We would love for you to answer them on Instagram and Facebook. So come hang out with us, come talk books. We'll be here having chaotic fun as we do, and that would be all. Okay, bye.
And there you go. That was good.
The end.
You did it. Bye, everyone.
Bye.